It's a good day. Welcome back to the channel. In non-Porsche related car news, the Hennessey F5 Revolution did just beat the Singer 21C lap record time at Circuit of Americas.
That fucking vehicle that you have built is the most ridiculous thing I've ever been inside of my life. I can't believe how fast it is.
Well, we only did a speed limit today, right?
Yes,
so,
but we got there very quickly.
We got there very quickly, yes.
Yeah.
1,817 horsepower and 3,000 pounds, so you got some power to weight ratio to work with there. It's like taking a McLaren 765 LT and adding 1,000 horsepower to it. Something nobody needs, but we've sold 36 of those, the Venom F5.
What happened to you in your life that you needed to make these preposterous cars?
Well, you know.
Like, what is going on?
The Singer did it in a 211.3, and not to spoil it, but the Hennessey did do it in a 210.9. And I just so happened to be out there last November when John and his team with Hennessey were out in the Revolution F5. As you can see at the time, the fastest they did was a 2 minute and 16 second and some change lap, which is still pretty good. So they were shaking the car down. There is a couple of points that I want to talk about before we look at the lap record, because by and part, they did do it. They beat the lap record for a street legal car at the Circuit of Americas. Both are American-made companies, 4 digits in horsepower, so they got a lot of horsepower. And you can see from the lap, Hennessey did, is that they are definitely kind of, it feels like they're tiptoeing around the lap because they just have so much horsepower. So meaning they're not getting on the power super early at some of the apexes. They're kind of letting the car coast in there, which is interesting. They're using it almost like obviously it's super high horsepower. So to say that it's a momentum car is not necessarily true because the horsepower is so high. You can hear it let off throttle and kind of coast through some of these areas that you would think that they would be trying to pick up the power early. But if you have the carry speed, I guess you have the carry speed. So a couple of things that help to contribute to this new lap record, I think, is the conditions of the track. When they tried to test this back in November, it was bumpy as shit. So I was there. It was very, very bumpy. So 4/10 in just a confidence factor going around the track, the difference between the 210.9 of the Hennessey and the 11.3 of the Singer is I think boiled down to a lot to confidence. So granted, the Singer was from a couple of years ago, so I don't recall exactly what track conditions were at the time. However, my guess is they were still bumpy. Recently, you can tell from Hennessey that the repave helped them a lot. A car like that, to be set up and to not have those bumps and to be able to have that confidence going through some of those high-speed turns, like in turn 2 and across 10, and down into 11 there and into the carousel, to have the confidence factor of a smooth track makes a world of difference. So hats off to Hennessey, not taking anything away from them. 4/10 is still 4/10. However, that is something that definitely did contribute, that was a difference maker between November and now. Things that I think that they could do to be able to go faster, and this, nothing against whoever drove the Hennessey, and this may be controversial, but I would put a different driver in there. So I saw their driver. He's obviously fast, he's accomplished, he's well-seasoned, has a lot of experience. However, he's big. And it doesn't matter even if your car has thousands of horsepower, I think that weight still matters. So I think things that could help them go faster would be to put someone like a Cam Lawrence in that car. Cameron knows that track like the back of his hand, is incredibly fast at that track, and he weighs probably 110 pounds, you know, dripping wet. Just not a very big guy. And to save 80 pounds or 85, whatever the difference is in those two driver weights, I think that they could help him go faster. Without further ado, kudos and hats off to John over at Team Hennessey.
And thanks to our team and to our driver, David Donahue. And again, we're still just developing the car, and I think there's more left in it. So maybe we'll come back and see if it'll go a little bit faster, and maybe we'll make a visit to Laguna Seca and even VIR over at Virginia at some point to see how fast it goes. But thanks for tuning in, and more to come. Cheers.